The latest World Triathlon Cup race was in Pontevedra in northern Spain, which will host the venue of the Grand Final next year. Large field set off in the race. The currents and the tides all important. And as you can see in the men's race, 65 men in the field. They split into three distinct groups very early on in the race. 1,500 metre swim, the first leg, a long 1,000 metre stretch. Miguel Silva from Portugal was one of those in the lead going into the swim. Valentin Morlec from France as well was one of the first out of the water as they set off on the 40k bike. And usually this event has two transition zones. Off on the bike on the fairly flat course, but a very technical course, lots of twists and turns through the streets of Pontevedra. And there was soon a group at the front that had managed to get themselves a little bit of an advantage, but by the end of the first lap they closed up and we had a large group of over 40 athletes on the bike. Spanish crowd enjoying the warm sunshine after the cloud for the women's race earlier in the morning. Glorious conditions for the men. Willian, an Australian, and Redmond, another Australian, tried to make a breakaway, but it was Antonio Serrat that eventually hit the front. Willian managed to stay with him for a while, but to the roars of the crowd, the home faithful, Antonio Serrat, who's from just down the coast in Vigo. Redmond just affording a bit of a smile to the camera. Wonderful scenery for the bike course here, and as they turn for home into the transition zone, it was a large pack of 43 men that came in. One of the favourites for the race had crashed out earlier on, Joad Abdelmoula from Morocco, but it was soon Max Studer from Switzerland and Antonio Serrat that were at the front. There was another Spaniard that joined them, Sergio Baxter, and they broke away from the rest of the field. The only man that was within sight really was Barclay Izzard from Great Britain, who settled in just behind them, but he was a good 14 seconds back. And over 10k, the Olympic distance, this would be all about timing. Studer just looking like he was starting to labour a little as the chasing pack tried to make up ground. Chase McQueen just at the back there, who'd been training here with Javier Gomez, a 5-time world champion and resident of Pontevedra. But there was no catching these three at the front. Studer was just left behind. Baxter timed his run on the final lap to hit the front. And it was a good, strong finish from the man from Murcia. Antonio Serrat had no answer to the finishing speed of Baxter, who admitted that he didn't have the fastest finish, so he wanted to go early. He crossed the line in first place. Emotional moment in front of a home crowd. Serrat held on to come in second, and Max Studer from Switzerland had to settle for third place. A great men's race, but it was won on the run as Spain take 1 and 2.